Are there friendly ghosts?
4D is above 3D. It's not that far above us. People think like, oh, why are they there? Why are they stuck? Some of them asked for permission to stay close to their loved ones, to be very involved in their life and work through their loved one and guide them. It's not everyone's case though. There are some people that are just sent back, or they can't quite put their foot in past a certain point in the astral realm, or else they have to stay there. Yes, there are many friendly ghosts.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wondered what goes bump in the night, and if you could have friendly ghosts, then do we have the show for you. Today I'll be talking with Kim Russo, one of our all-time favorite mediums and human beings, the best-selling author of The Happy Medium, the TV star of shows such as A&E's The Haunting of, and an incredible teacher of mediumship and connecting with the other side. Today we're going to have fun looking at friendly ghosts, spirits, and who is really by your side, and how to connect, or the top signs you may have a friendly ghost. So welcome back to the show, Kim. Are you ready to shine?
Yes. Hi, Michael. I'm ready to shine.
Woohoo! So I was
Woohoo!
going to ask a first question about friendly ghosts. However, there is somebody who's queued up. You may hear her in the wings right now, who is queued up. Oh my gosh, I've got to adjust the mic so that you can hear what's going on off camera. Let's see if, can you hear that now, Kim?
Yes. Was she saying, Papa?
She's saying Dada.
I thought that's what I heard.
Her first time on camera on the show was with you last year. And
Yes.
she had a very special occurrence, which you're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But she has been queued up and waiting for you, Kim. I think she's even eating her dress right now, waiting to say hi.
Whoa.
Ready, Hannah Bear?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, oh my gosh, how beautiful. Hi, baby girl. Hi, Hannah Bear. Say hi. Hello. Oh, she is just so pretty. God bless her. Is she camera shy?
No,
Hannah
not
Bear.
usually. She's soaking in your energy, and I think she's trying to
She's
understand. And
looking,
then
yes, yes. Look at those cheeks.
hold on.
My goodness,
We
my
will
goodness.
charge the Hana Bear.
Hi, baby girl. Oh, she likes that. She's laughing. Woo! Hi,
There
little
we
girl.
go.
Oh, look at those eyes. Look at that soul through her eyes.
So let's
She's
dive in, and she's going to join us for a little bit of this. So I want to ask
wonderful.
if there's such a thing as friendly ghosts. But before I do that, yesterday we're in St. Augustine, so a few miles north of you, like a couple 150 miles north of you. We went to the St. Augustine Lighthouse. And she was going up and down the stairs in front of the St. Augustine Lighthouse because babies aren't allowed. I know they're not allowed to climb the lighthouse till they get to a certain height. And then she turned around and with Jessica spotting her, and that's Rue in the background. With Jessica spotting her, she looked up at a house across from the lighthouse, pointed. She just waved to you.
She did. I saw it. I saw it.
And yesterday
Hi, Hannah.
waved. Yesterday was her first wave, but there
To a
was
house?
nobody there.
Oh, wow.
To a
Hello.
second story of a house where nobody was there. Now, we've been told that there were 3 kids that died there when the lighthouse was being built 150 years ago. And I wasn't planning on doing a ghost show, but here she was pointing and waving to where there
Oh, she's like this, just like she's doing now. Hi, Hannah. What do you see? Do you see people? Maybe she sees pets.
Well,
I feel like she's connected to the pet realm.
after that, today she's been pointing all over the place at things. Haven't you, Hannah Bear? Mama's coming here. Mama's coming here. I know.
She's looking for her mother, yeah.
Comes Mama Bear. Here comes Mama Bear. So I want to talk about that for sure. But I guess the big first question is, are there friendly ghosts?
Absolutely, of course. That's like asking, are there friendly people, right? You have some distressed people in life with distressed lives, but they're friendly. They can be friendly. So the consciousness doesn't change. Just because mostly they're in fear. When you speak of ghosts, Michael, I'm assuming you mean those energies, I like to call them energies, that didn't make their full transition. Is that what you're speaking of?
That's what I'm speaking of, but if you have a different interpretation, I'm open to it because I'm learning. But what I'm feeling into is that what we're calling ghosts are not necessarily hauntings. They're not necessarily bad. They may even be having fun, not like trying to harm you, but they may be going about their own existence in kind of a not here, not there realm, but enjoying their lives, their life after life.
If you catch up with the series The Haunting of, I speak about this all the time on many, many episodes. Like attracts like. So many times the woman of the house, when a new woman comes in after someone passed away and owned the house for a very long time, and the new woman of the house sometimes is a threat to the discarnate spirit, because that person could be like, no, the dishes go in this cabinet, not that cabinet. So there could be this little competition going on with the new woman of the house and the woman that just did not detach from her home. So you have that, but doesn't mean it's harmful. It's more like instructional, or she's correcting the new woman. Then I've had many, many times children having playmates, which is probably what you'll start to notice with Hannah Bear.
Well,
Playmates.
She lost her sister in utero. Lost, I think,
Yes.
is it's not a fair term. I'm in touch with her versus via automatic writing. I see these flashes of her as a blue violet orb all the time. And Hannah Bear regularly wakes up in conversation. She'll be in her crib in conversation, and she'll be pointing. It's like, hello.
Yeah, they're like Google Gaga, but they have their own language. I would just say that her sister stepped back. That's the way I would describe it. She just stepped back from coming into this realm. Nothing more than that or less than that. It's just a stepping back, allowing her to go forward. And they've been bonded before this earthly realm, or before she came here. So you know that. They've been probably bonded for lifetimes and lifetimes. And the souls do make agreements as to who will go first, if siblings would like to come together in the same family. I had a miscarriage when I was almost 5 months pregnant. This was after having 2 sons. And it was very devastating at the time. It still is, of course, but what I'll just tell you this brief story to shed some light on. And I wrote about this in The Happy Medium. I quickly got pregnant again. I didn't plan it, don't know how it happened. I kind of know, but I don't remember it. And so I had a name picked out for that pregnancy that I lost, had it been a girl, because I had 2 boys already. And I had the name Alexandria picked out. I had the opportunity to go to see a psychic that I never heard of, but my girlfriend thought she was wonderful. And she said, please come with me. I went. She was holding my daughter in her arms, and she never said my daughter was here or there. She says, I'm holding your daughter. And I said, what does she look like? And she described her with long, dark, curly hair, which my husband has dark, curly hair. And I said, does she have a name? And she said, her name is Alexandria. I nearly fainted. I nearly fainted. Long story short, the message that came to me and through the psychic was that my son that wanted to be born, and we decided we were only having 3 children. So my son kind of kicked her out and said, you sit this one out, I'm going in. And I could actually see it as like a movie I'm watching, he's a very strong personality.
Yeah.
But she comes up in every reading, and she always speaks about being my youngest son's sister. Like she watches him. It's quite amazing.
I teach automatic writing. I do that every single day.
Yes, you do.
And thank you so much for sharing. Right along those lines, my automatic writing has been taken over by my daughter Miracle, who's on the other side. She's like,
Beautiful.
I'll go Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. She's like, no. Daddy, I've got that covered. They're all here. I'm speaking for them. And she speaks in every single reading to me. Every single time. She's like, no, I'll be the voice. She's like, I've got you covered.
I believe it. Yeah. Wow. So look how she has joined your team. In more ways than joining your family, she's helping you on with your mission. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't surprise me at all. So she just really, sometimes they want to have the experience of just being in the womb. Did you know that? I'm assuming you know that, but they tell me that. They're like, no, we just wanted to feel what it was like and have mommy feel what it was like and have that connection with mom and dad. And then, we'll see them again. They don't check with time. They don't have time. So in order to miss someone, time must pass, but there is no time where they are. So
that makes perfect sense. So going to spirits that are, and you said you talked about it a lot in the haunting of spirits that are they've transitioned, but maybe we say they haven't made the full transition.
Correct.
What's going on, and are some of them happy or comfortable where they're at?
Yeah, well, the Catholics call it purgatory. I was told by my guides it's the 4th dimension, like that middle ground, or the astral realm, okay, which is very accessible, right? 4D is above 3D. It's not that far above us. I do see it as above us, actually, because vibrationally it's higher. And a lot of them, they have unfinished business, they feel. Their lives were ripped from them in a flash, such as in 9/11. I had many confused souls. The readings were very similar in nature during that time. They were coming in confused. And some were angry, like I wasn't ready for that. Although they had agreed to it on some level that they might have forgotten, of course. But once they sit with and accept the idea that they have left the physical realm, and of course, the living can, with their extreme grief, hold them close to the 3D. But there's always guides and angels, as you know, waiting for the soul to go back home on the journey, all the way home, all the way, like dimensionally. But they're not, people think like, oh, why are they there? Why are they stuck? Some of them asked for permission to stay close to their loved ones, to be very involved in their life and work through their loved one and guide them. They have to ask permission for that. This is all what I've learned personally. This is all what's happening in my readings over the years. Then there are some souls who are just petrified to learn what is after that astral realm. They don't really know if there'll be people there to greet them. Typically, they are met by certain loved ones or pets, of course. But the astral realm, if they've exceeded that realm, they not the soul that left, but their family members, they kind of have to go back to their dimension. Otherwise, it's like they're climbing back down the mountain, right? If they accelerated already to 5D, 6D, in the Bible it says, in my house there are many mansions. Yeah. And that is very equivalent to the realms and the dimensions. So if a soul excels to the 6th, 7th dimension, in a reading, I set up my reading space on the astral realm. So they have to literally come down the mountain in a sense, but they cannot stay there. They have to go back to where they already accelerated to. But the newly transitioned souls, or the ones that choose to stay in the astral realm, they cannot go higher unless they're ready for it. And they sort of have to achieve it, if that makes sense. They have to be acceptance and love and not have fear, because fear will drag us down. And when we leave our bodies, most of the time we feel the compassion and the love that people talk about. I study near-death experiences as well. And it's not everyone's case, though. There are some people that are just sent back, or they can't quite put their foot in past a certain point in the astral realm, or else they have to stay there and transition. That makes sense. But yes, there are many friendly ghosts.
Beautiful. Thank you. So for those who either aren't ready to put their toe through that door, to transition fully, or who feel they have work still to do here and by our sides, are there some top signs that they are actually here and with us?
Oh, there's many signs, yes. Well, first, there are some people that say to me as a medium, I don't know where my mom is or my dad. I never feel them, and I never hear from them when I go to mediums. Well, there may be a reason for that. They might have reincarnated. They can, they can if they choose to come back. Not typical, though. It's not typical that they come back right away. Some of the other signs are, believe it or not, I've noticed that a lot of people who have anxiety and they get the heart palpitations, spirit is around them and wants to merge with them or speak to them. That's a very common one. And people start going on antidepressants and Xanax and all kinds of medications when all they really need to do is center and listen and tune in to see who's there. Why am I feeling anxious? Because it could be someone, they vibrate at a higher rate than we do because they don't have the physical body. They leave the density behind of the body. So even if they're in the astral realm, they're vibrating at a higher rate. So we can feel the brrr like that. They also work through our dreams or visits. It's very, very easy for them to enter our dream state the closer they are to this realm. But they still can enter if they're at a higher dimension, but it's the easiest for them if they're not too far away. You can smell their perfume, and most often you can even see apparitions, especially right after they leave their body. Their spirits can be seen by the foot of your bed, or they come to say goodbye. And you will literally see them like a silhouette, but it will look just like the person, filled with like a light behind them. That many people say that, speak about that. They send signs through electricity because if you think about it, when they're around, their energy is clashing with the electricity in our homes. It's literally clashing, which can cause a lot of light bulbs burning out or fuse boxes going.
I'm going to bookmark that. Keep going, but we have to double back to this one after this point. Keep going.
Okay, yeah. They literally can, with their energy, close doors out of nowhere. The door just was, you can feel the wind pass you by, like the windows are closed, there's no windows or cross breeze happening, but yet the paper on your desk will just start flying out. I've had that happen, by the way. Or you'll feel this breeze or this cold spots, which, because they're made up of electromagnetic energy, they absorb heat, so that remains a cold spot. When they're present, they absorb heat, if that makes sense, because it's like thermal, and then that space is chilling and cool. So, you have cold spots that you can literally feel. Of course, they can send all kinds of signs with, but that's with any level, signs like numbers on a clock, numbers on a license plates, butterflies, cardinals, the electromagnetic flying objects like butterflies and birds. They fly with the magnetic positions of the wind. The spirit can influence that butterfly and that bird to fly towards the window, towards your home, perched on a tree. So they're influenced by the magnetism of the spirit, which, just to give a little bit of science.
Okay. Is there a way to tell? Let's say that, heaven forbid, a bird bounces into your window and you're going, oh, I hope the bird is okay. Is there a way to drop in, center, or check and say, hey, did something unusual just happen here?
Something unusual did just happen, if that happens. Unless it's just a blind as a bat kind of bird, and your windows are so squeaky clean, he was trying to go right through it, to be honest. Birds send messages. They really do send messages. They are as natural as it can get. Any inhabitants of the earth, even pets. Cats are beyond psychic. I don't know about roosters, but roosters, I think you
take cats to a whole new
level.
Whole
nother, I have no experience, but you do. So, and I believe that they can see, feel, and hear everything that we cannot see.
We don't have to have a camera going for Hannah Bear in the other room when she sleeps, because if she were to wake up, if there was a situation that we need to go in, Rue will start screaming. He doesn't have to hear anything. He will just start screaming, because his job, a rooster's job, is two things: procreate and protect. And protect is not just happening in the seen dimension. He can hear thoughts. We're guessing that he sees emojis and things like that, and everything all around him, he's taking in.
Wow. And I think, dogs too, for when you think about the emotional support animal and the pets that can sense a seizure coming on for, a person that they're protecting. They're just incredible, and they have senses that we do not have. And if they can react to unseen forces, they have to be there. I mean, I know they're there, but for the average person, pay attention to how your pet reacts, and how your pet might just stand in one spot. And I've seen this many times, just looking, and it's not looking at a mosquito, I'll tell you that. Sometimes they just stare straight and look up. I have many pets looking over my head.
My service dog, Sawa, who passed away now, 10, 12 years ago, particularly the last year of her life, she would just sit in the corner and she was watching TV. I mean, there was no TV there. She was already partially in another dimension. The love bug, our kitty, when in our last house in Hapatcong, New Jersey, it's a giant mirror, like not unlike the mirror behind me, but much bigger. And she would just watch. And then she would actually, her eyes would dart to the side as she's
That's
watching
right.
different things in the mirror. We couldn't see these things. She could.
And you really have to pay attention to those, even babies like Hannah, of course, especially,
Oh, and she's
especially.
pointing now. She's pointing at things that we don't see.
Yes, usually under the age of 7
Mhm.
is the time where they're still so unindoctrinated by the world. They're just so pure. And that's kind of how it was supposed to be until we were programmed to not believe in things we cannot see. Right. We learn that at a very early age. Children are often running in their parents' bedroom, frightened in the middle of the night terrors. Mommy, this happened to me. Mommy, there's a man in my room. My mom and dad were very protective and very supportive. But I've read for many parents where I do advise them the worst thing you can say is, oh, honey, go back to sleep. Ghosts are not real. Or there's no man in your room. Like literally acknowledge it and believe your child when they tell you something. They have no reason to lie. Then they might say, well, they have very creative imaginations. You know what? No, I don't think they don't have that yet, at such an early age. This just happened to my niece's child. She's 2, and she has this tremendous playroom, the whole length of her house. And they were up in the playroom, and she was pointing to the corner. She's very verbal. She's very smart. And she backed up a little bit. She goes, Mommy, the little girl over there. And my niece didn't see a little girl. There's no little girl. You mean your dolly? No, Mommy, the little girl. Look, pointing. I mean, she's very smart. She saw something. And she said it was a little girl. So you don't know who comes in and where they come from. Could be attached to the home, could be attached to the family, like a sibling, like your little sweet angel. We don't know. But it's not. It's very rarely frightening ghosts, spirits. Very rarely.
So now going back to electricity, and thank you. We've had some interesting, and we talked off air about you and I around electricity, but we've had some interesting things happen in, I mean, almost every house we've been in, we've had ghosts, and we've known this. When we were in Hapatcong, the water heater, electricity, caught fire inside the water heater and somehow, thankfully, went out, or the whole house would have burned down. Found out when a plumber pulled it apart, and he said, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. All of the wiring was burned out. We got here this week after coming back from Hannah Bear's healing event in Philadelphia. And immediately upon coming in, the compressor for the air conditioner burned out, or what the air conditioner repair person said, it shorted out, specifically shorted out, followed by some shorting in the fuse box, which did the laundry machine and a few other things.
Oh,
Is
wow.
this
That's everything I just said.
exactly what's going on here, Kim?
I don't know, who are you bringing back with you from the lighthouse?
It was before the
But
lighthouse visit. Before the
yeah,
lighthouse.
well, it also could be you're channeling your automatic writing. Besides your daughter, do you channel other entities?
I don't. So I set up a bubble of love and light. I go to archangels. I will go to a top line people or spirits only welcoming into the light. So I'm not playing Ouija board kind of thing
No,
of
I know
seeing
that.
who I can attract, or putting up a butterfly net. I can go kind of anywhere I want, but I've never tried to just pick up random spirits. Never. Ooh,
You
I don't know
might
if you
live,
could hear that.
I heard something. What
I'm gonna
was that?
change my audio setting because as I said that, it will probably go off again. As I said that, Rue just started screaming, and I have the mic on a very high. Now you can hear him.
What? Don't they do that only in the morning?
Yeah. But like I said, he's very energetically sensitive. So we started on what I was just saying, and he's sounding the alarm.
Oh my, I'm so impressed. That's wild. Oh my goodness, he's trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
Uh, well, you know what, too? What just popped into my head, which probably was given to me, is you might be attracted to locations that have vortexes. That's another thing. There's just very maybe he concurs.
He may, and I'm gonna change the mic setting now. So but I mean, we did live on the side of Haleakala volcano in Maui, and that was one hell of a vortex. We have lived in Taos before, which is also a heck of a vortex. So,
Wow.
and this has St. Augustine has a Maui kind of energy to it. So
Well,
certainly,
you know, I've heard, and I know you know this, St. Augustine is the oldest city in the world.
I didn't know in the world. I know in the
I heard the
U.S.
world. I
Wow.
did. Well, first of all, that alone is unbelievable. Think about the history, and you don't know what that house is sitting on. You have no idea.
Well,
Well,
so
maybe you do.
I don't, and I asked for permission to be on the land when I came on the land, and it seems there's been a sweetness to it. These, oh, I
I
guess
don't
I
feel
gotta.
there's anything bad, but I
But
feel like
what's
whoever it
interesting is
is,
the the,
they're causing you to spend money.
the river in quotes behind us. It's the ocean splits around this island really, and that river has a fascinating name. It's called the Matanzas. And the name of the river is the reason that I don't like to actually go to downtown. It's very touristy, but it doesn't resonate with me. Matanzas stands for massacre. And in the main part of the St. Augustine, we're south of that. First, I think the Spanish the Spanish eradicated the French, then the English tried to kill all the Spanish, and then the English tried to kill the Spanish again. And then the Spanish rounded up all the First Nation people and then killed all of them. And so there is a fascinating history here. Yeah,
Did you just say
fascinating.
your home was surrounded by water?
Yes. So there
Okay.
is on across the street, there's one home and then the Atlantic. And behind the house is the Atlantic, but it's called a river on this side because there's land behind that.
Right. So water is a conductor of energy. You know that.
Tremendously. Jessica was very upset when I went out swimming and there was thunder in the distance a few nights ago or days ago.
Hmm.
So
Right.
yes.
Right. So you're surrounded, you're like an antenna bringing in all the energy if you have all that water surrounding your place.
Can you choose or can you tune the dial to what energies you bring in so that we can bring in friendly or amicable or helpful spirits, ghosts, otherwise?
Okay. So what I just heard in my brain, my clear audience is your energy being there will neutralize the angry spirits or the bitter spirits that might have been massacred or died, in such a violent way. Uh, Having the intention and the peaceful vibe that you and your whole family has will could reverberate out as peaceful energy. I heard neutralize.
Yeah.
So I do believe there's not much you need to do, except if you feel, because you're so sensitive too, as well, you can You could do your own healing ceremony out, maybe out in the back, just in order for whatever might be residue, imprints, like sad imprints, angry imprints, just neutralize that energy.
I'd be honored to do that because I want to help whatever energy is there. Maui is the only place. No, I take that back. Maui and Colorado are the only places. In Colorado, we made peace with I believe it was a person who had passed away there, and he was kind of grumpy. He wasn't too happy with us being there, but he was okay with it. He tolerated it. Maui was the only place. Oops, there's also Boulder, but that was before Jessica. Maui was the only place that something really didn't want us there. Here, I don't get that. I don't get that sense at all. And maybe it's the sweetness I'm bringing to it, but I get only sweetness. And the water here, to me, feels sacred, even though that has a very funny name. Funny is a strange way to put it, too. Has a funny name to it. I sense a sweetness. Like when we came back with Hannah Bear, from the hospital a couple days ago, we were immediately met by two manatee. A mama and baby manatee came to Hannah Bear. She had just put her in the water, and they came swimming up to within 3 feet of her within 30 seconds. So there's that sweetness to it.
Yeah, that was a sign that healing is in progress. That was a sign for sure. And I do keep picking up a name David. I don't know who that could be. Could be a relative of yours, a friend, or someone near you in your home. The name David is just keeps coming at me, connected somehow.
We have a dear friend who doesn't live in St. Augustine now, but he grew up in St. Augustine and is a dear, dear friend on Maui, and he might be coming back here, whose name is David. And he has he's very energetically connected to the area. So maybe that's him.
And I think it could help. Maybe he can help shed some light when he comes. I do see him coming, actually. Try to make sure.
Cool.
Try, right. Cool. Try to make sure you guys invite him over if you can.
Okay.
I just think you'll get some insight. I do. I see him around your space, so it could be something that's coming. But obviously, what I do feel your daughter Miracle comes where you go, goes where you go. So it might be hard to tell the difference between what Hannah Bear is seeing could always be her sister. Not always, but a good amount of the time.
This is way off topic, so forgive me, everyone, and I want to get back to friendly ghosts. I can communicate with Hannah Bear as well, or her higher self, through my automatic writing. And lately it's been getting confusing.
Okay.
Between whether it's their energies are so close or so aligned or so something. And Hannah, post surgery, it was heart surgery. I don't want to focus on that. She's doing great, but post surgery, her energy has been so powerful that I get confused in my automatic writing who I'm getting the advice from, whether it's coming from Miracle or coming from Hannah, because she's coming through so clearly now.
Even though Hannah's alive, you can communicate with the spirit because she's still young.
Yeah.
And we have permission as parents. So we have that special permission to connect or to enter without permission to their higher selves. They were twins, yes?
Yeah. Identical twins.
Yeah. I mean, they have a very connected soul contract. So I can understand where it would be getting confusing because their soul contracts can be extremely similar. Even if one is here and one is on the other side, it just was the same. To me, it keeps coming up as of course they're individuals, but in energy and in journey, soul contract journey, that's very similar. It all has to do with what they need to give to you, the world, and of course, Jessica.
Speaking of which, she's hovering off camera here, and there's a reason for it.
Right now, that bathroom light is flickering like crazy. I tried turning it off.
Can you say this on air? Would you mind?
Yeah, I heard something of like
And
crazy.
let me change she's not trying to make a cameo, but let's get it so that you can hear her voice. So hold on. Can you just speak your voice so that we can see if you can you hear her?
Yes. Hi, Jessica, honey. How are you? I can hear.
A little freaked out, but I'm sure it's a friendly ghost if it is a ghost or a spirit. But I thought it was pertinent to point out that there's this bathroom light that I tried turning off.
Just now.
I tried turning it off like when you first started the interview, and it's come back on and it's flickering nonstop.
Everything we spoke about. Somebody's showing off. I'll tell you that much. All right. Well, have a conversation and say, okay, duly noted. Even do a little clap if you'd like. Somebody wants attention. Somebody's looking for attention. Yes.
And that's actually what Hannah
did. Yeah. Give them what they want. It's all good energy. I don't feel I would tell you, obviously.
We're just talking about how whatever energy we brought to this place, even if there was anything because of Matanzas River and the history here, that we bring such a sweetness that that we've neutralized whatever is going on.
Good to know.
What did she say?
She said, "Good to know," and put up her thumb.
Yeah, don't get too pushed out of that place just yet. Now, I do remember telling you a while back, maybe in 2 other interviews ago, that you'd be living in Florida, because you did ask me where you'll be living, and you made a face when I said Florida, but here you are.
So there are many predictions that have come true. One of them is that we'd be living in Florida, although it's ironic isn't the right word. The don't get. Wow, the light just turned off. It turned off after we clapped.
It's not one of those clap on clap.
It's not a clap on light. So
right. You were saying you moved to Florida, and I think you were going to say, although it's not our permanent plan, but you didn't say that.
You said
I don't know.
Specifically, I don't want you feeling like you're getting pushed out or something, but actually we were supposed to be renting this place through the end of the year, and life circumstances and health circumstances, the owners are moving back in mid-July. And so we are actually, in a sense, you could call it being pushed out.
Pushed. You are. I also, that's very circumstantial. You're not leaving because of being fearful.
Oh, God, no.
That I believe that's what that message meant. Like, don't be pushed out of fear.
You were right about Florida, which we had no plans on being here. Love it. Although we are very much diving deep into the practice to understand where we go next. A place has not
correct
up here, and I don't believe it's here. And you also said that we would have twins, but that one of them would be very healthy and the other one would be really struggling with her health. And that's what we had. And the other one transitioned back home. So you mentioned that well in advance as well.
Yeah. You know, when I see things, read the timelines or read the blueprints, it is somewhat like a timeline. It could, I'm not good at zeroing in on exact months, that type of a thing. I just see it all as one. Like if I had to give a synopsis, a summary of a movie, that's how I present it.
So I want to go here in a moment to nurturing this connection with whomever may be by our sides, if we feel they're benevolent, if we feel they're friendly. However, since you just said timeline, is there either anything we should know, or for ourselves, or for Hannah, or any idea your best hit as where we're going from here?
Well, the first thing I heard, and I don't know if you lived there already. Have you lived in Pennsylvania?
Last summer.
Was that just very temporary?
Yeah, that was the Poconos. We had to stay close to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and she's actually born in Philadelphia. Actually, when you say Pennsylvania, we were in Pennsylvania last week for her heart procedure.
Oh, because that keeps popping up in your field.
So
Pennsylvania keeps coming up
that's
around.
big energy. We're hoping we don't have to go back, meaning that we've got the heart
Right,
procedures behind us.
right. Well, you know what? That they saved her life, and they have been a very big a catalyst in
Oh yeah. Oh, we're
keeping
grateful.
her well. So I don't know, I heard it, so I just said it, but I, I mean, you may have to be there a little bit again, but doesn't mean you're going to live there permanently. You know what's so funny? I don't think it's Florida either. They're not bringing me there at all. Well, honestly, it has not been determined yet. That's literally what they just said. Literally what they just said. Because you do have free will, and I see things happening in between. There might be some things where they don't want to influence your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you what was very clear. They want you somehow to be closer to mountains, and that's why Florida's not it. It's too flat. And it's with the energy of mountains and nature and mountains and nature. So, I mean, you have your choice. Although I keep seeing Arizona, or clay-like mountains, it doesn't have to be. It could be the Rocky Mountains. I don't want to zero in on it, but definitely in a mountainous, higher sea level type of region.
Higher
They
sea
would
level
like that.
or higher altitude, you mean?
Above sea level, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I think I feel Colorado is calling us home. I feel
That could be
Colorado.
the clay mountains that I saw.
Well, Colorado
Uh,
is red earth, is what it's
yeah,
color
yeah.
red. So
This,
that's the
right.
energy colors as well.
Correct. I do see mountains, honestly. That's where I see. You were in Florida for a reason. Don't know exactly what,
Oh,
but
it's brought Hannah Bear to life. When she came here, she was doing great, but she was, I don't know how to put it. She was a baby. And
yeah.
the changes in a very short time period, how much she's has come to life, her awareness, her everything, her understanding, her pointing, all of this it just took off once we came to, I guess, this place surrounded by water. We'll call it the vortex of St. Augustine.
Yes, with the sunshine. The sun the sun brings light codes to our DNA and wakes us up. That's what its job is.
Jersey was very, very cloudy, extremely cloudy for us.
And dense, very dense in certain places up north.
That's where we
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me bring it back to everybody here who has been very, very patient as we're going back to friendly ghosts. Can we nurture? We start to get these signs. We start to know that something's here. We start to get these palpitations. How do we nurture or strengthen this connection, or say, well, I want to go back to being like I was less than 7, where I could see you guys. I know you're there. I don't know, maybe it's a dangerous thing to say, but let's play. Let's explore this relationship together. Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, well, you just said something danger. It's not dangerous if you know who you're talking with, right? But it could be dangerous for the spirit to show themselves as an apparition. And I'll explain. And they told me this. They said once they make their transition, that whole journey of leaving the physical body could be it could be intense. Like it's like climbing a mountain, Mount Everest. Asking them to come and reappear into the physical, again, depending on which level they went to, is asking quite a lot of their energy. That's why they typically do appear as soon as they leave.
Okay.
They do a stopover, and then you see them at the foot of the bed. Now, the real earthbound entities, energies, you will see them in haunted. You will often see them in isolated places. They don't hang out where there's a bunch of sunlight and a bunch of people. They don't like the foot traffic because they want to not always be noticed. They want to stay in their own mindset, which is on a loop. They just want to keep looping around in their mind about, I just want to stay here. I feel safe. I feel safe. So you'll often find them in abandoned buildings, old type of warehouses. You will find them there, the earthbound ones. And they didn't have to necessarily die in that building, but they'll find these buildings where, again, there's not a lot of foot traffic.
They feel safe there.
Really do. Isolated and alone. Sort of like when you're depressed. You don't want to, first of all, you don't want to see a bright lighted room. It's like hurt your eyes. And then the last thing you want to do is have to interact, because it takes a lot of energy. And I'm talking about the ones that really need to be alone with themselves. Then you have the very aggressive ones. They will come out to play, maybe not in such a nice way. They actually could terrorize, and that's their job. That's what they take your energy and they feed off of it. And they call that loosh energy. It's loosh. That's actually their fuel. When you get scared, they grab it and it fuels them. Because fear is a very high emotion. It's not the same as love, which is the highest emotion, but fear is, that's why they say, be careful what you wish for, be careful what you fear. You can bring it right to you. Because it holds a really big punch to it, the energy. Fear is like debilitating, as we know. So once they see they can scare you, get you in that space, they want more of it, like a vampire. So these ghostly vampires.
Can we switch it? Can we switch it? So like
Hell yeah.
I just felt a breeze by my legs, and there's no way, there's a fan on the other side of the room, but there's no way the breeze could get over here. And it went whew, past my legs. And the only thing I did is I send love. I send love.
Absolutely. You can switch it. How would you handle an aggressive person if they were in the room with you living? It's the same way. You don't show fear. You show your boundaries. Mm-hmm. You definitely can show love. I mean, they don't like that always, but because they don't know love.
Yeah.
Right. But I say, when you're consistent with it, fear cannot live where faith is. And faith is love, and love is the highest expression. It does send them away. It does send them away. Because they can't get any energy from you. And they don't want the love energy. Because they're not familiar with that. It's the same way when they were alive, the ones that are bitter and whatnot, they didn't accept the love energy. I'm sure it was there somewhere. From a wife, from a friend, from a sister. They chose to be angry and bitter. So that mindset can remain. The consciousness can remain that way. Doesn't always.
Very, very interesting. So I'm going back to the lighthouse, and I was talking with one of the lighthouse keepers yesterday, and she said these 3 girls had passed away young, and that they're very playful spirits. She even witnessed once where she was talking to a woman, and the woman tried to take a couple steps into the lighthouse and couldn't go anywhere because something had tied her shoelaces around the railing while she was talking, and that this lighthouse keeper had to get her keys put on a zippy thing attached to her waist, because every time she would walk to go open up the lighthouse, the keys would bounce out of her pocket. So can we make friends with, or is it a good idea to make friends when there are kids or playful spirits involved? Or is this something where we get to help them or do something with them?
Great question. That there's 2 points I want to make with what you said. If you see a spirit or a ghost on a loop, like you see them walking through the same wall, back and forth, and they don't do anything different but that, that's not a ghost. That's a psychic imprint. It's a spiritual residue, right? It's a memory. It's like an impression of a memory.
Yeah.
It's not a real ghost energy. It's just the psychic impression.
So
But
like
as soon as
on Maui, several times I'd be in the bathroom, brushing my teeth, and a woman with a candle would come by in her long nightgown.
constantly, same thing.
Same thing. But I'd always take a double take and she'd be gone. Is that the loop thing?
That's the loop. That's the imprint. That holds not that much weight at all. Yeah. It's just it's like an imprint in a couch when you sit.
That was the minor thing compared to the we had in the bathtub like crop circles show up of like ash and stuff, and that really freaked us out.
Wow, that sounds like alien stuff.
It was, and that had a very different energy to it.
That sounds demonic. I don't know, not the crop circles, but the moldy smell. I've heard that before.
And then Jessica got sick with mold from that house. About a year and a half later, there was something really going on there.
Oh, I'm glad you left, boy. But getting back to the lighthouse, when you told me that she tied the shoelaces, that's a ghost. That's an entity.
Yeah.
Maneuvering the energy, doing different things, having an agenda, doing it with the keys. So when you said, could we help them? What I feel, so as an adult, right? If you saw a lost child in a supermarket, I know the first thing you would do is try to find their mommy or daddy, right? They shouldn't be left unattended. And I often do try to do that when I see that. And when I come across the young spirits, I tell them that their mom and their dad are waiting for them and they're looking for them and they must go home to their mom and dad. Sometimes they just don't even know. Like, oh, really? Oh, okay. And I don't worry about how they're going to find their home, because there's always a hand of an angel waiting to take them where they need to go back. Always, no matter how long it takes, they're never alone on their journey. So as a child spirit, I would really try to get them back to a family member or parent, because chances are one of the parents is passed on. So you have a second for a quick story?
Yeah, please.
All right. I wasn't feeling well, and I have this thing where my husband speaks when he goes to sleep, and it's more like a hypnosis thing. And I was questioning him, and it was my spirit guide who came through. So instead of the pen, I used my husband, and he's a channel, but he's sleeping, but not like he has no idea. And
but he has given you permission, I take it.
Yes. And I asked my guide, I didn't solicit the guide. The guide just started speaking, my guide. Mm-hmm. And I said, I wanted to know why I don't feel well. I have a lot of digestive issues. And my guide told me that there was a little boy that his mom came for reading one day. And I tried to get out of the guide, how long has this been going on? And they told me it's when I used to do readings in my first office. So I was able to pinpoint the time frame. And I said, well, they said she lost her son. And when she left your office, he chose to stay with you because you're a mom of 3 boys and he liked your energy. and that you were able to hear him. So I said, well, why didn't he stay with his mother? Get this one. His mother died shortly after, and he's still with me. So I said, oh, no, 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 no. We have to get him back to his mother. He does not belong with me. I could understand why he would feel safe with me. And he was attached to my solar plexus, my stomach. And it made all the sense in the world, but I had no idea. And once I knew, didn't happen the first attempt. It took several attempts. And then I needed to find his mother and tell her, this is what you've been waiting to reunite with. Please come and get him. I have enough children. I don't want another son. He needs to be with you. You need to be with him. And I had to do this several times until then I felt him leave. And I never would have known that. I didn't think that was even possible, but I learn as I go, and my guides teach me. So I thought that was an interesting story.
It makes me wonder how often health challenges may be related to something that needs to go home.
Michael, that's precisely what I'm working on in my new book. Topics such as that nobody would be the wiser unless they were involved in this type of work. I didn't even know. I wouldn't think. But I didn't feel anything harmful. But he was a little boy. He wasn't harmful. But he was taking my energy. So what they told me was that's why I was exhausted all the time. And I wasn't feeling well. He was using my energy that I needed for myself. Just to stay there, just to live there.
Is there a way for the average person who, my guess is we can all have skills similar to yours, but they're latent in most people. They haven't been used. They haven't been brought forward. So for the average human, there we go.
The mere mortal.
That's exactly, thank you. You read my mind, Kim. That's why you have super skills. For the mere mortal, is there a way that we can tell if we have, I call it hitchhiker energy on
That's
or
what it
about
is.
us?
That is exactly what it is. Well, it's hard to identify, but what I like to do, just to cover all my bases, is whenever I have a headache or something that comes out of nowhere specifically, and you can do this anytime, any place, you literally have to be very firm in saying out loud. I would like to say it out loud. Be gone, you are not of me. Be gone, you are not of me. Because that we're not meant to carry around illness or disease, and you just don't know where it originated. It might have even originated with a trauma from your childhood, caused by a person that's no longer with us or whatnot, but it's still something that is considered hitchhiker energy, because it's literally hooked into your cells, your cellular memory, and it's affecting your life. And I don't care if you're 8 or 80, that energy will still be there if you don't clear it. So there's clearing that needs to be done. Breath work is fabulous for that. Deep breath work, like repetitive breaths,
Can you
deep,
give me an
deep.
example?
Out through your, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And there's breath work practitioners. This releases so much stagnant energy. We do forget how to breathe, especially when we're stuck in fear and stress and angst and uncertainty. And God only knows, since this crazy COVID situation, many, many people have been stuck in that stagnant fear-based energy, forgetting how to exhale, breathing. You know, I was once told, and this blew my mind, that the reason people are so addicted to smoking, maybe not as much anymore, was it was not the nicotine or the cigarette, it was the inhale of the cigarette that made them feel relaxed.
Interesting.
So they could just do the inhaling without the cigarette and exhaling. But they thought it was with the inhaling of the cigarette. Is that something fascinating or what?
That's wild. And I'm looking. I don't think I have it here now. Oh, I do. I have almost nothing on the desk. This is going to be kind of funny to you.
What is that, a scuba mask?
It's a device. It looks like a scuba device to help you learn how to breathe deeply and build your muscles around the diaphragm to take a deeper breath.
That's wonderful. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of them. I don't even know what it's called. I mean, I'm not obviously sponsored. This was by them. This one is called Expand a Lung.
Wonderful. No coincidence that we're talking about this and you have it.
Wild. I have almost nothing on here, but I have that. I have my headphones, which shorted out a couple of days ago. More stuff has been shorting out.
I'm so sorry to hear that. And Mercury's not even retrograde anymore.
No, you brought up a fascinating. We're going all over the place, Kim. And how are we doing time-wise? Are we doing okay? I want to be respectful.
I lost track of time.
Okay, well then we're good on time. I'm not going to tell you anything. We'll get you going here shortly. I have been thinking about this recently as I'm watching the wounds of the world walk around. To me, humanity is a walking, talking wound. We are operating from our subconscious wound, both individually and as a collective, each one of us being a cell of the human beingness. And our subconscious is playing out traumas and replaying traumas and replaying traumas. And I've certainly been thinking, we've had on many experts about this, and Judith Richards recently about this, about how much it is our traumas that are running our lives. But what I'm now hearing is we get to look not just at what are the traumas that are running our lives, but is there the possibility of a hitchhiker creating us, helping us stay in that state of fear, or in that fight or flight response, or in a sense, not even being our true selves as well?
So, not to get too deep or out of this realm.
You can get deep, Kim. It's okay. Go for it, please. I can put on my scuba here. We can go.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Michael, I'm sure you know this. I don't know, for how many of your listeners might have ever thought about it, but there are entities that are not human that are running this planet or trying to run this planet. And I cannot give identifying species because there's probably quite a bit of them that I'm not aware of. Mm-hmm. But not everything that is operating here is of the human form. Mm-hmm. And it could be very demonic in nature, it could be very, how could I say it? Like, also trying to feed off the collective consciousness, keeping us at a very low vibrating rate, the collective, of course. And so we literally create their reality, right? So if these entities that are running rampant all over the world, which they're there, they have always been there. They're rampant. So because we know the earth is ascending to a higher vibration, and so are we, in order to keep us in the low vibrating coma, sleeping coma that we've all been in for centuries, they're amping up the fear because so they can feed off of our fear. When we don't give in to the fear, I always say, when there is no audience, there is no show. The curtain must come down, and that's it. That's all, folks. I that's what I try to teach people in their individual life as well as collectively. So there are these low vibrating entities that are targeting our children, actually, the teens, the youth. First of all, because they are our future, and they target the vulnerable, the weak, and the ones that are addicted. They can actually allow you to become addictive to certain drugs and to certain substances. They tell you lies about yourself. They tell you you're not worth anything. So all of this shadow work that we need to do from generational trauma, like my father might have told me something, his father told him that wasn't positive, and so on and so forth. That's one dimension of the shadow work. Once they see you, these low entities trying that are not human, that they see you really coming into your heart space, they don't want to see that because they lose control of the earthly realm, right? So some people say that there are some aliens that are these non-human entities that I speak of. I don't like to identify because I don't have that knowledge, and I don't have, from what I know of experience, firsthand with them. But I've worked with people that have been plagued with these types of entities. They're nothing to sneeze at, and they're nothing to take lightly. They're very, very real. And that is why I am not a really big advocate for being in an altered state where you don't have control, because that's when things can kind of come in and take over. So it's just, you speak a lot about being mindful. I know you do. Mindfulness is what we need to be. And truly,
I hold this stone as we're speaking, not to interrupt for more than a moment.
oh yes, sure. What is that? Obsidian?
It is obsidian from, my wife got it in Sedona. And
it's beautiful.
I just continuously send love. I send love. I watch where my mind goes. I send love. If it's going over here to a fear-based place, bring it back. Send love. It's going, send love. So, and I used to use a bracelet. Now I use this for this. I can actually do it without, you can feel the energy circulating. But if I can bring myself back to that state, I feel that's a higher vibrational state. And those suckers, those loving suckers can't suck.
They cannot. And when, again, the breath, it brings life. And, that's why a woman, when she's having a baby, they teach her how to breathe through the pain. And that's like metaphorically, we need to breathe through this pain, these traumas, and bring ourselves back to center, for sure. And to get back in touch. Anything that's negative that I speak of, whether they're human or non-human, the only thing that makes them scary is their separation from God. So they're just further separated from their divinity, from the love. That's what they say. What makes people so evil, or anybody evil, or anything that's evil? Separation from God, source, love, whatever you want to call it. And the further you get away from and separate, the denser, the darker it becomes. So that love word is powerful.
Thank you. I'm having this whole internal conversation, and I think I'll go there real briefly, and then let's find out. Well, let's send people to your work, send people to everything that you have to offer and give at this point. I already know the answer to this in a sense, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Uninvited help does not usually get the results that we're looking for. Uninvited assistance. So I don't view evil as evil. I view evil as lost, just as you're saying, separate from God. I want to help heal everyone, everything I can. However, there's not much really we can do for beings playing at that energy level, except to get them to separate from us. We shouldn't be trying to do a dance of sending them home, or should we?
I would do exactly what you said, and I do what you say. It's have compassion. I typically feel that that's what's necessary in our world is compassion. The person that hurts is hurting.
Exactly.
That's how I always see it. So we could choose to hate them for their own pain or have compassion for others who have pain. And when I do feel that when you start to see people from the level of compassion, it changes the whole story. You don't become the victim. You just aren't the victim. They're the victim at that point. And then you have compassion, like I said, and that's what, sort of brings out the love in a person. Hopefully. So it's a conscious decision, and it is a shift in how in perception. And if you could people could just think about the basic things. Hurting people hurt people. That's so basic, but how powerful is that? So we can all learn to have compassion and love for one another. And if we, people that have definitely crossed over and come back to speak about it, they all say, if people only knew that when they hurt others, they are only hurting themselves. If they knew that we are all one, the way they see it once they get there on the other side, we would never hurt not even an ant, a fly, or anything, because we're hurting us as a whole. And I try to think about that all the time. It's like, yeah, it's an illusion of a separation that you're there and I'm here, Michael, but it's only an illusion. In the bigger picture, energetically, we're one. So that's when peace on earth will really happen, when we learn this.
With the exception of Mama Bear going, you need to take care of that right now. I get a skeeter on me. This is going to, forgive me, everybody. I'll be like, okay, take what you want. Go on your way.
I was just talking about the fly and the ant. Why not the mosquito? What is that yellow bracelet on your hand, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh. So I went to the lighthouse. We had this experience with Hannah Bear pointing at spirits. And this was just to let us into the lighthouse. And I didn't even realize till I left that it says on it, Dark of the Moon Ghost Tours. And I had no idea.
You went on a ghost tour and you didn't know it.
We went to a place that gives ghost tours. And we had and here's Hannah Bear pointing at things and waving to them.
Oh, so at least you got your validation.
Yeah.
Only you, Michael, only you.
That was, yes, exactly. All right.
That's great. Yes.
What classes and events do you have coming up? Where can people find out more? And a shameless plug, I hear you've got an online store, Kim, and you're doing the packing yourself.
I am. I get to play with crystals all day long. And I do pack them myself. I have, let me just show you. I have this is not planned. This is just, I'm in my office right now with all my crystals, getting ready to pack. And I touch them all day long. And I'm a kid in a candy store.
With energy.
I do infuse them with my own energy. I pick the perfect crystals based on the energy of the order that comes in. I don't try too hard. I just go off the energy of the person's first name and intentions. And I infuse what I can. Blessings always go out with each order. And yes, I do hand pick and pack every order as they come in. And so that's why I say, I'm not Amazon. It's not the next day, but you will eventually get the shipment from my store from me. So thank you for saying that. That's on my website. As soon as it's on the homepage when you log in, it's kimthehappymedium.com. And so that's easy to remember. And you'll just click on the store and it brings you to all my products. And I use all of these products myself.
kimthehappymedium.com.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And so one event I definitely want to tell people about that are in the northern region, or if you're brave and you want to take a nice trip in the summertime, get on a plane. I will be hosting a live gallery session in the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort. And that is on August 19th. I will be there a few days. There's this whole extravaganza of a metaphysical fair. They'll have vendors and other mediums that have been certified as evidential mediums, as myself, doing other gallery readings, bunch of like psychics and crystal workshops and all kinds of exciting things for people. So that's they can find all of that on my website and on my social media platforms. So I hope to see everybody there. That'll be fun. And online classes will be posted soon. Okay, it's not posted yet, but first come, first serve. And I do limit my classes. I don't necessarily teach people how to become a medium. I do, however, teach people the fundamentals and the basics for the foundation of bringing out their own gifts, which might be mediumship. I do that. And I do specialized classes in mediumship. That's more, if they're more advanced, I offer that as well. So this way, so I do have beginners classes as well. So there's something for everyone right now.
Very cool. So I'm on your website. And of course, I end up being drawn to guardian angels and archangels. So I've got to ask about these two things. What is an Archangel Michael Worry Stone? And what is a Guardian Angel Protection Stone?
So they're pocket stones. You could carry them. You could give them out as gifts. They're really sweet reminders. They come with a card with each one explaining what it does. And they're reminders really to, I know you're big with Archangel Michael.
Oh, yeah. He's
our protector in battle. People love to call him in when they're in any kind of fear-based or they need some help in a certain type of a battle. Life can seem like a battle every day, right? And Archangel Michael is really, he comes in with the sword. He's cut through a few battles for me, and he's always there willing and ready to help. But they don't help necessarily unless you request and give them permission to help. I have, there's also a travel stone, which is you take with you when you travel, you feel safe. These are just really just the reminders of the angels that are with us. So they're made up of resin, they're not crystals, but it's what they represent. And you can really form a relationship with these angels just by knowing about them and carrying them with you and feeling their presence.
Very cool. I have been it's been weird what's been happening lately. Like I'm maybe working with a YouTube team coming up, and I've been getting it from different people, left, right, and center. People saying that it's time, Michael, for you to get your own Netflix or TV show or something. And I've been waiting for when the time is right. And people just keep saying this, and it's weird how it keeps coming to me. But I'm going to use that as a dovetail. You've been there. Are there any plans? Is there any energy behind getting you back on, not the silver screen? What's the right word for getting you back on TV?
Well, thank you for asking. And the answer is yes, there is we're very far along in the plan. Nothing confirmed yet, though. Nothing confirmed yet. We've already done the ideas and the treatments for the ideas, and we are about to start the pitching phase to the different platforms. So the good news is I have a really nice production company who really believes in me and my work and would love to see me get out there again. And I'm very happy with these people, this team, the vibration of all of it, the ideas. And, you know, Spirit is going to have to take the wheel from here because I did my part.
It always does. So here's what I know. And I'm sure you've been to this website. It's probably an oldie but a goodie. There's the top 10 things you didn't know about Kim Russo.
No, I didn't go to that. No.
There's a top 10 things you didn't know. And at the bottom, it says that you were hesitant, I think, at making The Haunting of, because you only wanted to bring love and light. And that's true. Who and what you are. And so whatever you're making, whatever you're glowing right now, whatever you are playing with, I know is going to work out. I know is going to succeed because you are here for one reason and one reason alone. And that's to bring more light and love to the world. And so, of course, it's going to come to fruition.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's going to make me cry in a good way. That is so beautiful. I do feel, Michael, I'm not done with my mission. I mean, of course, you know, I can still be alive for however many years and not complete my mission, but that would not be right. That's not why I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think timing is everything. I also feel that a lot of the messages that they would like to bring through me, perhaps the public wasn't quite ready for it at some point or in the past, aside from the work that I did do. And I just feel that wherever they lead me, I am a willing participant to be their voice, like you said. And I know I've always known since I'm a little child that I came here first to do that work. Everything else is secondary. Truly, it is. It's like I'm on a mission. Same as you.
Yes, absolutely. And it's on the tip of my tongue. The prayer of Saint Francis. Make me a
vessel.
A vessel of your love. Make me it's somewhere in there, but that's exactly what you're saying.
I know that's that prayer. It's beautiful. Maybe I'm going to print it out and keep it where I can see it every day.
Yeah,
that'll be nice. But I'm excited for what's coming. And all I really want to remind people is, in a dark world that it seems so dark, just be the flashlight. Just be the light if you can, in some small way. Not everyone will be on TV, Michael. Not everyone will write books. That's okay. We need the people. We need the foot soldiers. We need the people that are in the communities, in the families, especially at home with the children, raising our future. We need those people. So I have fairly positive visions of the future. I do think it always gets darkest before the dawn anyway. It rains before the rainbows. But we're all here for it, right?
I think we're here for the party. I think we're here for the rainbows. I think
that's what I mean. We're here for it. We're here for that. I mean, we can't leave the party early.
No.
It's just getting started. And I'm so appreciative when you invite me on your show, because I know it's just going to be so exciting, so uplifting for me. So hopefully it will be for other people as well.
Oh, and for me as well. Make me an instrument of your peace.
There you go.
What you are.
That's beautiful.
What you are. Kim, this has been beautiful. This has been special. I've loved the river of water that we flowed today. This has been phenomenal. I do want everybody to go check out your work and check out kimthehappymedium.com. And thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate it. And God bless you, Hannah Bear, Jessica, Ruru, everyone. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun. Visit kimthehappymedium.com and start your own sacred journey with happy ghost, with happy spirit, with a happy you, first and foremost as well. And above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woo-hoo. I hope so much you've enjoyed this show with Kim Russo as much as I have, and as much as Hannah Bear is enjoying the remote control at this moment. How does it get any better than this? Well, how it gets any better than this is if you want a daily attunement, something to raise your vibration up, way up, sort of like Hannah Bear, woo, up to the roof. Come on over to dailywoohoo.com. That is daily, WOOHOO.com. If you want to learn automatic writing, go to automaticwriting.com. You can also find out about our School of Mystics below. And yes, that is my watch alarm going off, saying it is Hannah Bear's bedtime. Make sure you go to the link below. Love you guys so much. Keep on shining bright. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Yay!